Wait, so Toni took Tamar's man and now she's married to him, you guys? Was she at Toni and Birdman's wedding talking about something? He was a man enough for me and I had to let him free. Y'all, the gossip streets are ringing and they are saying that Towanda once again got the story all the way wrong. Tamar wasn't messing with any of Toni's exes. Toni is married to Tamar's ex. I know. Listen, sit down. We got to talk. You know we got the receipts. Let's go. Also, hit that like, subscribe, share. Baby, it's holiday season. I'm back to begging. Could you spare a like and a subscribe, please, sir? Okay, fine. I'll get to work. Let's sit down. This has been a heck of the week for the Braxtons. We already know what's going on between Tamar and Towanda. We'll talk about that in a second, but can we talk about, remember when Towanda was sitting at the table with the Braxton family values and Tamar, she got that one off when she was like, and I know where you live because I paid your down payment. And I said, was that really necessary, right? So anyway, and then Tamar was like, and you've been stealing from me. And then Towanda was like, well, you steal too. And Tamar was like, steal what? And she's like, you stole or slept with Toni's boyfriends, a couple of them. Now listen, Towanda has been known, at least I believe, to lie with a straight face. So we all said, Towanda, get out of here. Tamar ain't gonna do that. She might be cuckoo for cocoa sometimes. She might be like, literally, she gets a man and she just forgets who she is, right? But we said Tamar would never do that. And Toni and Tamar are like this. Towanda doubled down. The whole media was like, shut up, Towanda, you big liar. Just shut up, right? So then the verses with Cash Money and No Limit went. And Tamar was wiping her sister's husband's head with a bandana. And then there was a really awkward conversation afterwards where Tamar was talking to Toni and Toni was just looking at Tamar like, with her glasses, adjusting her glasses, didn't you want to speak? And I said, there's some type of weird tension. Well, guess what? The brat tweeted, then deleted this post. I mean, assuming it's not a fake post, but people said it's not faked. Basically confirming that Tamar had hit it first. Tamar was with Birdman first. Apparently, they had a fling in 2003. Let me read you the timeline, okay? The Brat retweeted it. I didn't know the Brat and Tamar had beef, even though Tamar seems to have beef with all her old co-workers, right? I'm not saying it's her. I'm just saying it happens. Maybe God just she is God's strongest soldier because he keeps testing her with whatever. So anyway, let me read you this timeline, because the timeline is crazy, but I tend to believe it. Do you know why? Because Tamar was the star of one of Birdman's, looking good. Why did Tamar ever touch her face? She didn't always look like Muppet Power. Why did she touch her face? But she was looking good in Birdman's video with a bad red outfit on. And I said, you know, there was always a rumor that Birdman cast the women he liked in his videos. Kamora Lee was the star of one of his videos too, his lifelong friend who he loves very much and helps out very, very much. Anyway, go watch my video about that if you want. But let's get into what was tweeted and then what was actually deleted, because, oh my God. Okay, so Brat, this is from her account. People took the screenshot. It got the scoop, caught it before it was deleted, right? And it said this is what they tweeted. Yes, Tamar Braxton and Birdman were briefly in a relationship around 2003. It was a short-lived romance that happened when both were rising in their respective music careers. The timing, the relationship occurred in 2003. The nature of the relationship, it was described as short-lived crossover between R&B and hip hop. And it's important to distinguish Tamar Braxton from her sister Toni Braxton, who was also in a high-profile relationship with Birdman. And Kanisha Bush said, now, if you ain't seen this clip from Braxton Family Matters, you may be lost. But baby, the tea is hot today. Now, listen, the Brat posted it on her Insta and then deleted it. And then she posted it right next to a picture of RIP. Now, y'all, sit down. We have to talk. That means that Birdman is sloppy seconds. And Toni is dating Tamar's man. Now, this is the legendary Toni Braxton, right? Because, Toni Braxton is dating someone that used to date her sister. If you believe this. Now, a lot of people have said that they had something. People have said that every time Birdman had a female lead in a video that, or anytime there's a female lead in a video that Birdman's in, Birdman likes to share the benefits package. And people are online literally saying, I don't know what's going on. I guess Tamar is right. God is good all the time. She is being vindicated left and right, especially with that mess about their niece, Ashley, and whatnot. But when it comes to this, where's the outrage if it was the other way around? Now that we know that Tamar hit it first, well, we don't know if Birdman hit, but dated first, right? According to this, what does that actually mean between Tamar and Toni? And this puts that whole mess back into the verses in new order. So let me get this straight. So Toni obviously had to know this in some way. I don't think Birdman or Tamar would have kept this away. Tamar might be like, 2003, that was over 22 years ago. We are grown. I got a kid. I ain't thinking about that, ninja. But the way Toni Braxton was sitting on that phone, just looking, just death stare, not saying anything. And now that we know that there might have been something romantic, we don't know if it went in between the sheets, but it was definitely like some type of attraction. That's why they dated, right? That makes it look even more odd that Tamar was on stage, the only Braxton sister, rubbing his, literally feeding him water, rubbing his forehead with the handkerchief, all up in there. Listen, and this explains why Toni was sitting there looking at Tamar so crazy. What is going on? Again, I get the fact that Tamar can be like, that happened so many years ago. We're not even thinking about that. But would you want your ex around his ex with her hopping around on stage, mopping his head in his face? Because at the end of the day, again, I still don't think that Tamar would snake her own sister. However, the optics were weird, right? And on top of that, would you trust Birdman around Tamar? Because there was some type of attraction. Tamar still looks good. Birdman do be doing the fentanyl lean on stage. I don't know what he's doing, but it looks like a fentanyl. For me, from an outside observer, I observe it. I observe it to be the fentanyl lean. You know, when people are smoking, toking, doping, whatever they're doing, you know, lines get crossed. And why was it weird? This explains why Toni didn't fully trust or appeared not to trust Tamar in front of Birdman. Y'all, what you think this means? What do you think this means? I'll tell you one thing. Do y'all think Tamar would do that? No, but do you think Birdman would? Absolutely. And let's not forget, Birdman also has a long-standing friendship with his good friend Kimora Simmons. And he has a bunch of long-standing friendships. Tamar need money. Birdman got money. Tamar needs a comeback. Birdman can help her with the comeback. Tamar needs a feature. Birdman can help her with a feature. Again, when money, and let's also not forget, Tamar's going through her own things because she never did explain why she told us that she knocked 4 teeth out of her mouth. We saw her less than a week later looking like a Caillou doing a get ready with me, and her face wasn't swollen, wasn't nothing wrong with it. It looks like she might have gotten some new fillers and a new nose, but I guess I don't know. I do know this, right? Tamar's been moving really, really strange. And I know there's some people there, Tamar fans, being like, she would never. I don't think she would be that dirty, low down to do something. But I'm saying that this explains a lot of the optics, and this explains that weird energy that Toni was actually giving Tamar. I don't know, y'all. Listen, do y'all believe what the brat actually posted and then deleted? Or do you think not? I actually do believe Tamar Braxton was Toni Braxton's cute little sister. Well, beautiful little sister back in the day. Toni in 2003, was she out? Right? I don't know. The whole point of the matter is I could see them having Tamar in the videos. Tamar was always on the scene. So it's not far-fetched that Tamar was out like single and ready to mingle, but Toni. But again, maybe that's why Toni was giving Tamar those, because if Birdman had enough money to make you do a Kardashian, right? And to make you date your little sister's ex, then maybe Toni thinks that money might turn her little sister's head again. I'm just saying. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. He was a man enough for me. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Bye.